This podcast is intended for adults 18 years and older. It contains explicit language and sexual situations. All thoughts and opinions expressed are of our own and not of those of any specific group, employer, or individual, and is not intended to take as professional advice.
Welcome to the Foreplay Podcast. Join the journey, experiences, and sexual adventures of two high school sweethearts navigating through the swinging lifestyle as millennials. Come along for the ride. Dare to play?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Foreplay Podcast. This is Bella.
This is Jase.
We're bringing back this episode type. We actually just looked it up now. We haven't done one like this since March of 2022.
Yeah, so
for
it's been
Temptation Cruise back then.
Almost 3 years since we filmed one of these.
Yeah. Or recorded one of these.
A full one anyway.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we used to do, from the cruises, we'd do a highlight. And so it wasn't the review and it's not the story times, but like the sexy story times, but it's just little things that happened on the ship that made us laugh or we really enjoyed or whatever it was. And we used to make them. And then we've done things where we would include some highlights in with the story time or include some highlights in with the actual review. But then sometimes those get so long and we're like, you know what? Let's bring back doing some highlights because it just sounds fun.
And we actually had a lot of people bring up the highlights to us in person, and they would bring up either a story about a highlight that they remembered from the podcast whenever they talked to us about it, or I remember way back a couple that we actually ended up playing with, they were like, put this in the highlights. And so on this last, and by the way, this is going to be about Bliss Cruise, November 2024 on Symphony of the Seas. I said Sympathy of the Seas, not Sympathy, Symphony of the Seas. And on this one specifically, a lot of people brought up the highlights. And so we want to bring that back because it seems like a lot of people did like them. We thought maybe people didn't care. And so that's why we stopped doing them and started putting them more in with the story times. But it's fun to share the little tidbits, and if you guys like it, then we'll talk about it.
Also, we wrote down these little things as we were like going throughout the cruise, so they're kind of sporadic, but it's just fun little bit. One time I saw a thing at a Dollar Tree, and it was pineapples, like these little jars of pineapples, and they were called pineapple tidbits. And I always thought that this felt like a pineapple tidbit.
It is. No, it's an upside down pineapple tidbit.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. All right. I'll start with the first one. So this happened a couple days in, and me and Bella went to go get breakfast one morning at the sit down or a dining restaurant.
The main dining, the
main
formal dining.
Yeah, but it was breakfast, not that formal. So we went there, and whenever we go to the dinners that aren't with a group, we like to ask to sit by ourselves just because we like to connect and spend that time together. And so we went up and we said, "Oh, table for two," and then the hostess goes. She puts on her little radio to talk to the person where they're going to seat us. And she goes, "No sharing. Table for two, no sharing."
Because we had to make it because this has happened to us even in the last cruise, not this one specifically, but the one we went on before. Because if you ask for a table, even a table for two or a table for six or whatever it is, they will put you sometimes at a table that has 10 people, but 6 people can also fit. So we didn't even just say table for two. After we said table for two, I was like, and I just want to make sure that's a private table. Can we request a private table? And then that's when she went into her walkie-talkie, table for two, no sharing.
And it just made us laugh because we sat down at the table and I was like, yeah, our rules and boundaries, it's we're fine, full swap, protection, all that. But our one boundary is no sharing when it comes to a table.
Sharing tables, that's a clear boundary. As a joke, we do share tables. We have a lot of dinners with a lot of people, but whenever you want to just connect with each other, just know that's okay too.
To not share. All right.
Some things are special just for yourselves.
Yeah.
Like breakfast. This time around, I actually brought some crochet stuff on the cruise. I did it more because we got a house with 4 other couples, and since we were there for 2 days or 2 nights, I wanted something fun to do just while we're all hanging out. Not saying that hanging out with them is not fun, but just for, meditation purposes, whatever it is, I like crocheting. And so I ended up just bringing the crocheting stuff on the ship too. And I didn't know if I was going to have time to actually do any crocheting, but I found that I really enjoyed having that little activity to do, whether that be, I even brought it to the pool area, and whenever you guys were playing mini golf there, I always had my bag with me to, even if we're hanging out and talking with people, it just gave me something to do with my hands, and I actually found that very comforting. And so that's something I'm going to continue doing and continue bringing moving forward, going on pretty much any trip ever. But specifically for this one, I started making these pineapple bag charms that doubles as a little actual pouch too. So you can put, it's not big, it might be like 3 inches, so you can put a lip gloss or maybe like your slut cards in there, or condoms, like just a little thing like that. And I really enjoyed making them to give out to people. And so I do want to have some, like I'll probably make them before we get onto the ship as well, but when I'm on the ship, I can continue to make more. And then also, Jase would be showering, and one night he came out, and I was just in my robe, like in my element. I just finished taking a shower. I had my hair in my towel, and I was just sitting there doing like grandma activities on this swinger cruise, and I just thought that was so funny.
It was funny. She also didn't tell you that whenever we were in Miami, we were actually there for a few days before we got the house with friends too, and we didn't have a car, and we wanted to walk to pick up some like little snacks and stuff, and we walked probably around half an hour to a Michael's.
It wasn't only to go to Michael's.
I know, but it was funny.
Well, I'm glad that, because we were doing it to go buy groceries, and then I saw on Google Maps there was a Michael's on the way. So obviously we're gonna stop by. And I wasn't even planning on getting yarn, but because I saw that, that's when I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna go and buy this, and maybe I'll have time to do it. I really didn't think I was gonna have any time at all, and I had actually so much time to do it, and now it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, so that's fun. Another thing is there was a lot of really cool costumes, but the costume that got me the most was on the superheroes versus villains night. There was a Deadpool, and he was a Western Deadpool, and he was in character. And this guy really was in character. I remember we were sitting at the buffet, and we were having like our group dinner and looking over, and you could see this guy in the full Deadpool outfit.
Like a really well done
Yeah.
one. Like it looked like an expensive Deadpool outfit,
Yeah.
not like a little spandex one you'd get off Amazon. No.
Yeah. And it was the Western one. So like he had
Yeah.
really put a lot of effort into this. And he was just like, not like in a Deadpool way, not like in a mean way, but just like you could tell that he was talking to the girl that was working the exit door of the buffet, and he was just like messing with her, and she was just laughing so hard, and you could just like, and throughout the night we saw him a couple times, and every single time you could tell people were just having so much fun because he was acting like Deadpool.
And you could tell he was having so much fun too. And he had all of the mannerisms, the way that he was talking. And the same guy, Jase has a funny story about him as Deadpool, but the same guy, one of the other nights, I don't know what the theme was, but he was Dick in a Box with his partner. And I don't even know if you knew that. Did you see that costume?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, was it Adam Sandler or Lonely Island that did Dick in a Box?
Maybe, I don't remember for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
know that. That's
it
funny.
was the same guy.
That's funny.
And so I wish I would have been able to spend more time with him and like actually get to know, I don't know his name or anything, but he was such a fun person, and the costumes were so good. And but tell them the boob story.
I walked over, and he didn't have a mask on. And so I came over, and he had like taken off. I think he went to the restroom or something. And I was like, hey man, I love your costume. I was going to come over and just like fuck with you to see, like if you really wanted to stay in character. And then he put his mask on, and he goes, he introduced himself as not Deadpool. And then he stuck his mask on, and he goes, when I'm in character, and then he goes, boop, and booped my nose. And then said something else and just walked off. And it was so funny. And it was, I think about that often actually, because it was one of my favorite things I've ever seen somebody do for a costume, and to see somebody that has that personality type that can like really get into that character and just fuck with people in this like funny kind way. it was incredible, and it was actually such a highlight for me.
I saw that he was posting on the Facebook group in there too. He was like, "You have my consent. If you have videos, please send them to me. Please post the pictures." And he was actually wearing it around somewhere else, like not on Bliss Cruise too. Like he was like walking around. I don't know if it was Miami or maybe it was he did it previously in New Orleans or something. But it looks like he brings that out kind of. Not I wouldn't say often, but I love that he has that costume and continues to do it, and I hope that we see him again in there in
Me
that
too.
same,
I agree.
same
I
costume.
totally agree.
Another really funny costume. Sorry, not funny. Oh yeah, no, it was funny. So there's one that was really cool, and I think it was on the fetish night. But there was 2 guys who were decked out in complete Kiss costumes, like the band Kiss. And is it Gene Simmons? Is that the name? Did I
He's
make
one
that
of
up?
them.
Okay. I was like,
I
I
think so.
legitimately
Now I'm
didn't
questioning
know
it.
if
I
Gene
believe
Simmons
so.
is the name of the singer or if it was a wrestler. Like, I'm not even joking. I thought that maybe it was.
Yeah, it is. Gene
Okay.
Simmons is. I Googled it just to make sure we weren't wrong, but yes, it is.
And when these costumes were so incredible, they have the platform boots, they have the full face paint, and the costumes look fucking expensive as hell. Like, it was really, really well done. And another couple who they've actually booked through us before, and so shout out to C and H, you guys know who you are, also had incredible costumes too. She actually makes a majority of their costumes, and very like professionally made. Like she did one from Hamilton for the couples costumes. They did for Under the Sea night. She didn't make it, but they were wearing scuba outfits and flippers. And I think they actually went on an excursion earlier that day, and they were like, "Well, we're just gonna wear this out tonight."
They always do fun stuff.
And so
Always do fun
theirs was
stuff.
really fun. And then this one was so funny. There was a couple who was Vector. Is it Vector or Vector?
Vector.
Vector.
From Despicable Me.
Yeah. And
Vector.
I think Vector is from Stranger
No, I think
Things.
is it Vecna or Vecna is from Stranger
Oh,
Things.
it's Vecna. You're right. But they were wearing those costumes and had bubble guns, and it was so fun. And then the dancing in the Studio B, where the main dance party was, they were like walking around, running around, and just shooting up the bubbles in the area, and I thought it was so fun. And I always wanted to bring some, like, even maybe like a squirt gun for the pool parties or a bubble gun, but I'm always afraid to pack something like that to go onto the airplane. So
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I'd have to buy it in Miami, then get rid of it.
I know, I'm always worried, but it was so fun. It's so funny.
So the next highlight comes from a story time, actually. And so it was after the story time was done. And we will have the story times that come out after this, like later on these story times will come out. But we generally film the story times when they happen, and then we just don't always post them. So at some point you'll hear the full story time from
And the story
this.
time is in the sexy
story time.
swapping.
The fucking story
yeah, the
time.
fucking, that kind of story time.
But anyway, so if you guys have seen our door, which if you haven't, you can go to foreplay.com/YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel, watch our vlog, watch our review. And we put these little upside down pineapples that hang from the ceiling, and it's out front of our door. And that way, whenever we're walking to our room, it's fun decorations. Also, we're able to see where our room is. And we put them up with magnets, and then they have a little string so it hangs from the magnet, so it's just very easy.
And I wouldn't say they're small. They're
pretty
probably a
large.
good 8 inches
Yeah.
in height. Yeah.
So in the story time, basically, we had played with a couple, and there was one other couple there, and they were like parallel playing, and then we ended up playing with the other couple, and so it was this group of 6 of us. And we walked out of the door, and then one of the girls kissed one of the guys, and they were standing under the pineapple. And I was like, oh my God, it's like swinger mistletoe. And I was like, this is my room. Why didn't you make out with me then? So I grabbed the pineapple, I pulled the magnet off, I brought it over to the first girl and stuck it above me, and then started making out with her. And then I took it down, I did it to you, and then I made out with you. And then I took the pineapple down and moved it again to the third girl, and I made out with her. And I just thought it was really fun and,
And
very
then it was
funny.
really funny because you took it and you were like, okay, you're next. And you went over to one of the husbands, but you were just joking.
I forgot I did that. That's very me.
It was so funny. And so now, because we used to keep that in our room, but from now on, not just because of the pineapple mistletoe, but forever we will have that outside of our room. And you guys should do it too.
It's a
Can
line.
we coin that?
Yeah.
Pineapple mistletoe?
Uh-huh.
Swinger mistletoe, that's what you said. Swinger mistletoe.
Yeah. So, oh, okay. Let's talk about the silent disco and your little pearl
Oh my God.
thing.
Okay, so.
You should tell the story because
I know.
it's on you.
I know.
And
It's
funny.
not on me. No, it happened to
It's
me.
off you.
Yeah, okay, so I'm kind of clumsy, a little. I'm very clumsy, kind of. And a lot of times on cruises, I have either slipped and fallen, or I've tripped and I've fallen. And this time, another time, it kind of happened to me. I didn't fall, though. Did I fall on this one? No, I didn't fall. Just
No.
this one happened.
First time for
You
everything.
said that so surprisingly. So it was the formal night, and I was wearing a it was a pearl beaded belt, I guess you could say. It was really pretty. If you go on our
Day 2
YouTube
vlog.
Yeah, day
You'll
2
see it
vlog,
on the Day
you'll
2
see
vlog.
it. And I mean, it's not very well made, I guess, but so there was a silent disco, and a silent disco is where everybody gets these headphones, and you can switch the headphones to 2 different radio stations, I guess you could say. And one station is playing one type of music, and then the other station's playing a different type of music. So whenever you're walking in, you don't hear any music. You just hear people kind of their steps kind of shuffling, and people basically just shouting lyrics to the chorus. That's what we've realized, that we only know we as a society, we as people only know lyrics to the chorus a majority of the time, but it'll be clashing choruses or clashing music. So that's what a silent disco is. So it's pretty damn silent in there. And Jase and I, we were dancing for a while, decided we were gonna go and just people watch. So and the silent disc, or the Studio B area where the parties are at the ice skating rink, and so they put a flooring on, so it's not ice, obviously, but the dance floor is on the bottom, and then there's stairs and seating that go upward. So like imagine not a pyramid, but kind of like that, right? Like, how do I describe? Surely you guys can imagine what that looks like.
Yeah, like
so
stadium
it's like
seating.
Yeah, like stadium seating. Yes, yes. Like if you were watching a hockey game or something, or a basketball game, any game. Literally any stadium seating. Now that I'm thinking about it. I know nothing
It's
about
the details.
sports.
You're like painting a picture
I
here.
know nothing about sports. Yeah, I'm trying to tell a story, paint a story. And so then I'm about to walk up to get onto the stairs so we can go and sit down. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but my little fucking necklace belt broke.
The pearl
and
one.
the pearl and all of the pearls scatter everywhere. And when I tell you, I mean, it was like Home Alone.
Like when he breaks the beads in New York City to throw down on the ground to trip.
Yes, and it was the same fucking colors too. And so then I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I'm like leaning down, I'm trying to like pick everything up because I don't want people to slip and fall on them and trip on them like in Home Alone. But as I'm doing that, more beads keep falling off of me. So I have to just gather my body and like hold it, and I step up onto the little stadium part, and then everyone around me, imagine like there's like people who are crossing their arms like this, being like, everybody stop. And so then this whole area around me, everyone just stops what they're doing, and then I can't bend down to pick more up, so then everyone's just helping me, and I look like a beggar because I just had my hands cupped like this, and I was like, and people are just putting the beads in my hand. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we finish, and then I'm thanking everybody, and then like Jase went and I tried to go find somebody to sweep everything up, but the community is so fucking amazing. We actually cleaned it up. I'm telling you, this was probably in the span of maybe 2 minutes. It happened so fast. And
I was gone for like 3 minutes, and when I got back, it was clean.
And
Yeah.
even the worker was like, I don't see what happened. And then, we explained to them, like, the community is awesome, and we picked everything up. And then, of course, I'm like embarrassed, and I get up, so we're about to like go actually sit down so I can put all of the beads in my bag. And then, of course, the last person who's helping, she was like, hey, are you Bella? I was like, yes.
She's like, I can tell it was you by the clumsiness. I was kidding.
That's what happened. whenever I fell on Temptation Cruise, like literally in the middle of the dance floor too, and then everyone was staring at me, and then somebody was like, "Are you Bella?" So of course something embarrassing happens and people know who it is anyway, and it was just so funny. And anyways, that was the only clumsy thing that happened to me though.
So pretty good.
Yeah, so pretty good.
The next one highlights. It's like there's like a couple of them, all wrapped up into one. So we have some really good friends. We met them on Bliss Cruise a few years ago, and I don't really look like him. I mean, we're both white, and that's like kind of the extent. We're the same height and stuff. But Bella and the girl look very similar from the back. Now,
we do have a story time with them. So if you've heard the one, I think it's called Blissful Orgy, and so
I don't think it's
their
called
names-
Blissful.
no?
No, maybe it is.
Maybe.
Jasper and
Carmen. Yes.
I have to like translate their names,
Yeah.
their real names to their fake names, and keep all of it straight. But anyway,
That's their alias name. So from moving on forward, we will call them Jasper and Carmen in this story time.
yeah.
thingy.
But anyway, Bella and her dress very similar, and from the back they look very similar. Their hair
Our hair is
it's the
pretty much
same,
exactly the same
color
height.
skin, and dress very similar. So from the back, you can easily get them confused. And like I've done it myself. The other husband's not like I've wrapped my arms around her before, thinking it was Bella. When we were in an orgy, which this wasn't even part of the highlights, but like in one of the orgies, they were there. And I had to remember, I was like, okay, Bella's hair is down and her hair is in pigtails, so I don't walk up and just like grab I mean, she'd be fine with it, but like I didn't want to just. It's a different touch sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So they do look very similar. But anyway, because she told us the first day, 7 people came up and asked her if she was you.
I know. And actually, even before that, because we were standing in line all together, and you were standing a little bit closer to her, I guess. I don't know. I was like, no, you and I weren't standing next to each other. And then one of our bookings came up, who are also our friends who we've met on the last Bliss Cruise. She kind of tapped Carmen on the shoulder, and then Carmen turned and she was like, "Hi," and then Carmen turned around, and then she was like, "Oh," but then she didn't see me, and so then I thought Carmen and her knew each other, and so because then the other girl left, and then I realized that she thought Carmen was me, because I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys knew each other." She was like, "I don't know her." So that happened quite a few times, which I think is really funny.
Okay, so also, this was on like night 6 or 7. I was sitting next to Carmen, and I was
So I was sitting in between you and Carmen. And
originally,
then,
and you went to the restroom.
yes, that's what happened.
And
so
so
I got up, and there was a space in between you and Carmen, because that's where I was sitting.
Yeah. And this guy came up and was like, "Oh my God, I love your podcast," or, you know, something along those lines. It was really sweet. And we were talking for a second, and I was like, "Oh, you know, I'm Jase," whatever it was. And then he said something, and then it was a really quick, like 10-second interaction. And he thought that it was me and Bella, and Carmen like didn't know what to do. And she just said, "You're welcome." And then and the guy walked off, so he still has no clue that was not Bella. I never saw him again because it was like night 7, and Bella was like, "We need to media train you because that's not what you said."
That's not what I would say if somebody was like, "Oh, thank you for your content," or whatever it was. Like, "You're welcome." Like, she was just nervous. I think she just didn't know how to like break it to him that she wasn't me. But it's so funny, and it happened like more times than I thought that it was gonna happen.
The last one, you said the last one that happened that made me laugh.
And then the last one, because she actually told me that this happened, but somebody thought that she was me, and then Carmen was like, "Oh, I'm not Bella," and then the couple looked at her husband, looked at Jasper, and was like, "Oh yeah, you're right, the other husband's more orange."
It's just
That
so
one, I
funny for someone to describe me as more orange, which like it's not
my
invalid at
favorite
all.
one.
But
It's
it's
not
just
valid at
no,
all?
it's not invalid.
Oh yeah, like it's very
It is
valid.
valid. It's just so funny.
It's a little more orange. So if you guys are on a Bliss Cruise, just know that Jase is more orange and I have no tattoos. So if you see a couple that looks like us, but she has tattoos and he's not orange, not us.
And if you introduce yourself and they just say you're welcome, it probably wasn't us either.
It was Jasper and Carmen. Next one is just the different, I guess, sports and amenity things that they had on the ship, which I thought were so fun. Anytime that there's slides on a swingers cruise is so freaking fun because you can go off or go off them. You can go down them. You can go down them topless. Can't be naked, but you can be topless. And going down a fun water slide topless is just so fucking fun and amazing. This one had, I think, 3 different slides, and I was racing some of our friends. I won every single time. I think I'm very aerodynamic because I've gone on many of them, many of the slides, and I know I had to cross my legs and cross my arms so I go real fast.
Nice.
And there was one that I think everybody called it the toilet bowl.
I think it was just our group called it toilet bowl. I don't know if everybody called it toilet bowl.
I didn't go on that one. I meant to, and then I forgot.
We've done it in the past. We've been on those slides a lot of times, but
those ones are really fun. And then the other little activities area, it wasn't little, it was a big activities area. You got a lot of use out of that with our friends. Like the mini golf
and ping pong, and it's just really fun, like
rock
little
climbing. Oh, you didn't
I
rock
did
climb.
not rock climb, and there's pickleball and stuff, and people playing pickleball topless and stuff. That was cute, but I played a lot of mini golf and I played a lot of ping pong, and I looked forward to it like every day. Like it was super fun, and so that was a highlight for me. I really did enjoy that a lot.
I think people go on these cruises, or people listen about these cruises thinking that it's sex all the time. And it's not. Like, these are the fun parts. Like, yes, the sex is fun. The parties are fun. But it's these little things that we're doing with our friends and people that you meet, like playing mini golf or, like, whatever it is, that are so memorable and, like, so special. And, like, those are the activities that are also fun. Like, we're also doing vanilla things, but doing vanilla things with not vanilla people is the best kind of vanilla things to do. Oh my gosh, another thing, I didn't even have this in in our notes, but we watched the fight, the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, like all together sitting on this little tiny phone. Like,
it was like really fun. Like, we had this whole plan, and the fight was the night before, and we all talked about, like, we don't want to watch it tonight because it's the party and stuff, and we're like, hey, tomorrow no one watch it so we can all watch the fight together. And then we all
nobody look online
to
see who won.
Yeah, we all gathered around an iPhone so we could just like watch the fight together. And it was really fun. It was so much fun, man.
Cute and wholesome, like doing things like this together, like as a group.
All right, what's the next highlight?
This podcast is brought to you by us, Bella and Jase. If you're going on a vacation, or maybe you have a gift that you want to give your other lifestyle friends and you're looking for lifestyle clothing, we have the best apparel on the market for you. We have not only clothing, bikinis, swimsuits, we have backpacks, tumblers, cups, anything that you can name, we probably have it. You can find that at foreplay.com/shop.
Let's say you're at a party, you're going on vacation, things are moving a little bit slow. Maybe you want some conversation to flow. Maybe you want to move stuff towards play. Well, we have the perfect game for you. It's called Foreplay the Game. It is a digital and physical lifestyle icebreaker game, and you can find out all about it at foreplay.com/games. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com/games.
If you don't have a lifestyle vacation planned, a resort or a cruise planned, why not? You can join us. You can find that at foreplay.com/playcation. We have not only information about the events and trips that will be on this year, but also other options for you as well. And it doesn't cost any extra for you to book through our links, but helps us a lot, helps us continue to be able to make this type of content for you. Now back to the show.
Next one. Oh, this is just a funny quote I have written down that Jay said to me that made me laugh. I was really proud of my under the sea outfit because I made both of our outfit, right? Yeah, pretty much. Because I wore one that was a scarf, but I tied it together. And I crocheted some items. I made my necklaces and those kinds of things. And I made Jase's little crochet. Oh, yeah. We had these fin ears, I guess you could say. So I was really proud of our outfits. And then I was just looking in the mirror and I was like, I love my outfit so much. I feel so hot. I look so cute. And Jase says, you look like teenagers would vote. Sorry. I finished reading it and I laughed early. You look like teenagers would vote your outfit 1 star on Dress to Impress, even though everyone knows it's the best outfit.
That's a very niche joke. So, like, it might not make sense,
But if you are in that niche, I know that you just laughed out loud to that. So, that made me laugh really hard and made me smile. And our next one, oh, this one's funny. This is
So
cute.
this couple was part of the mistletoe,
Yeah.
part of the mistletoe people, and we met this couple. One of the couple this story revolves, or this highlight revolves around. We met them on Bliss April, and became friends then, and then got to spend more time together on this cruise. And this was the day we had fucked the night before, and then on the last night, we were in line next to them getting pizza, and we were talking, me and him, and I was just like, yeah, it's so nice, that you get to like meet all these people, and like you get to make these friendship and continue these friendships and see these people over and over again, because they were like talking about how they're gonna go on the next Bliss. And I was like, yeah, it's just so nice. I'm like, I was so glad I met you guys last time. I'm so glad we got to keep hanging out. He's like, yeah, it's so nice you get to do that. And then, sometimes you get better friends, and then sometimes you fuck. And then,
It was so casual the way that he said it. And it's true. Sometimes you're just hanging out, and then sometimes you fuck.
yep.
And then it goes back to being like completely normal.
Yeah.
It's honestly like still thinking about it to this day. When you really think about it, it sounds crazy, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That is the norm. You'll go on these trips or whatever it is. You'll find these couples, you'll find these friends, you'll become amazing friends with them. Sometimes you fuck and then you go eat afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's like your husband just wasn't completely like
Yeah.
deep in my pussy.
Yeah.
Fucking the shit out of me
Also,
10 minutes ago.
This isn't part of the highlights, but we watched the Theo Von Swinger bit, or comedy sketch. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. If you guys have never seen Theo Von talk about going to, where was it? The Ozarks, to being at a
Florida.
swinger. No, in like Missouri.
Oh, it was in Missouri?
That's where the
Why did
Ozarks
he call
are.
it Tampa Tits?
No, he said that women that have like cleavage burn, like tan lines, is called Tampa cleavage.
Oh.
But if you guys haven't seen that, you guys should go watch it. But he says a part that people are knee deep in local wives, and the whole week I just kept saying, "Man, I've been knee deep in local wives," and it really made me laugh. But anyway, okay,
We need to change our group chat to that.
we do
with
knee deep in
that.
local wives. So this is a story. This part is funny. The story time didn't come to fruition. We had this talk with Carmen and Jasper and one other couple, that the three girls all want to be airtight, which if you don't know that's it's a dick in the pussy, vagina, and mouth all at the same time. And
The way you described that was wildly funny to me.
but that's what it is. And I'm not like an anal person.
I'm also not an anal person.
yeah.
We don't. That's like one of our rules, like whenever we're talking about all of our rules, that we don't do anal
Yeah.
with other people. And we don't do anal together either.
Yeah. But Bella was like, I've always really wanted to try this. We're really close to both of these other couples.
And try this as in being airtight.
Yeah. And I told Bella, I was like, I'm not an anal person, but because I know how much you want to do it, I think it could be fun to try it this one time.
Also, I'm very, very, all of us, all the six of us are very comfortable with each other, and the six of us have all swapped before, but not together. And so we all knew that we wanted to together. And so that's when the wheels were turning in my head. And then I was like, yeah, we should do that. Because I asked Carmen, have you ever been airtight? And she said, not with three guys. So she's done it with toys before, but not with humans.
Yeah.
And then our other friend, she hadn't been either. And her husband has a very, very large dick.
It's fucking massive.
Yeah. And so they hardly do anal because it's so uncomfortable. And so she said, well, we've never done that because he's too big. And so that's when I asked Jase. I was like, because we've swapped with this couple like quite a few times already now.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, we all want to be airtight. I was wondering if you would be open to fucking her in the ass.
Yeah.
When
Which, by
it's
the way,
her
okay, my
turn.
dick is a nice size, okay? It's just not that.
Yeah. No, it's a good size. It's like it's a comfortable size in the ass where it's not like, yeah, that made you sound like you have a
I
small
know.
dick. Jase does not have a small dick. It's just everybody has a small dick
No, this was
compared
the
to
low
her
lights.
husband. Pretty much 98% of people, of men, have a small dick compared to this guy's dick.
Yes,
her
I
husband's
would-
dick.
I would say
yeah,
so.
that's what I'm saying.
So anyway, now that's clarified. I'm so I absolutely love this
So
girl.
you can go to Jase's OnlyFans ad so you can see his dick. Just kidding.
So I'm very close to this girl. I love her so much, and she is like a very special person. That couple is. And I said we've been friends with them for a very, very long time. And I was like, normally I would always say like no to this.
Yeah.
But I was like, because I'm going to do it to you, and it's just in the spirit of this
In the spirit of
this
airtight.
night. Yeah. Like, for the community. No, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'll do
Fuck
it.
it, as in the
fuck in the ass. I'll do it. And so we were supposed to. So it ended up not working out. But after Bella had asked me, because I don't know how, did she ask you if I would fuck her in the ass, or did you say that I'll ask Jase? How did that happen?
She said, she was like, oh, we've never done it because he's too big for my ass. And I was like, well, like, Jase loves you. Like, we love you guys. Like, I think maybe he would be open to it. Maybe. So then that's when it was my idea. It was my
Okay.
idea to ask. She would never, like, bring that up.
I was like, I don't know how the whole story unraveled. I figured that's what
yeah.
happened, but I just
Yeah.
don't know how it unraveled. And so
She's like the only one Jase would do this for.
So like I kind of like go up behind her and like I pull her close to me and I whisper in her ear, "I'm gonna fuck you in the ass later," and she just like squealed and turned around and it was
And I knew, Jase told me that because I had already asked him that, and then we knew we were going to see them at the party. So Jase told me he was going to do that, and I wanted to see it happen. I wanted to see her reaction. And so I was standing off to the side waiting for this to happen, and I see Jase go over there and like whisper it, and like seeing it like happen in real time. It was so, it's funny because the way I'm going to describe it doesn't sound hot, but it just was so cute and wholesome. Like, well, I mean, it was hot when you were whispering it to her, but seeing her face and her reaction, it was like everything. It was so cute. But then unfortunately, okay, here's a tip. Don't plan for playtime things, like especially like if there's things that you're like really, really excited about, like don't plan those for the last night.
or don't do it late at night the last night. I heard there was a lot of successful 8 o'clock
Yes,
orgies
yes.
on the last night.
Don't do it late. Don't
Yeah.
make that the last thing you do on a trip, because more times than not, it ends up not working out. And it's just people are tired, things happen. Like it doesn't always work out on the last night. So we should have planned this earlier, because it's not like it just ended up not being able to work out. But I know if we would have done it earlier, it would have worked out. But we had planned it for the last night, like since like the second or third night or something. So it was scheduled for a while otherwise. So, but okay, so with that, you know the Sabrina Carpenter thing where she does all the Juno positions and she's like, have you ever tried this one? And then she does a different position. The entire time after we knew that this was going to happen, Jason and I just kept saying, have you ever tried airtight? We still to this day keep saying that.
And you know what? This brings us to the next story, the next little highlight a little bit, which is a bingo card that we
Yep.
found. And so
But
there
we
was
didn't find it. It was just
it was on a door. We discovered it
Yeah.
walking through.
Yeah, okay.
So if you guys have heard like how people decorate their doors on the cruises, especially swingers cruises, they have all these
Especially
different
Bliss Cruise.
Yeah, they have so many different decorations. And we stumbled across this room and they had a bingo card. And it was all different stuff. And I'll give you a few. Like there was 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. There was bold. There was
Blonde.
yeah, there was like anal. There was 69.
FMF.
There was there was there was
Oral.
orgy. There was like
Yeah.
a bunch of
Eiffel
different
Tower.
Yeah, there was a bunch of different stuff on there. And we kept going through and like as days were going on, we didn't think that we were ever going to get a bingo because we didn't think the stars were going to align in the way that we like had done a lot of things on the bingo card, but they were kind of sporadic. And there was a couple that were like, we could get a bingo if we fuck someone in their 20s. We could get a bingo if we did airtight, right? So we were like, maybe this will happen, but probably not.
Also, this bingo card door was maybe 4 or 5 doors down from us. So that's why
Yeah.
it was easy to keep going back and checking.
Yeah. And it ended up, we did fuck someone in their 20s. And so we went back by the door like, oh my God, this opened up an opportunity. We might have a bingo now.
We might get swinger
Because
bingo.
I wasn't thinking about I forgot this girl was in her 20s. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to bingo. And we went to the door and we looked and we thought we had bingoed. And there was like 2 different directions. We were only 1 short.
And guess what it was? Airtight.
Or it might
And
no,
anal.
Or it might have been DP. I think it was DP.
They had anal, DP, and airtight. And I think we could have bingoed multiple ways had we done the airtight thing because it would have crossed off a bunch of other ones. But in the future, I do want to put a
We're going to make our own bingo card.
Yeah, we're going to put our own bingo.
So if you guys are going Temptation Cruise or the next, Blisses or the next, any of those cruises, if you're coming, find our room and you'll see our bingo card and you can see if you can get a bingo.
We should put the bingo card in our bookings bag. Okay, if you're booked with us, we will have a scavenger hunt because we've had people say, "Where's the scavenger hunt?"
Yes.
in the bag, and I thought
Yes.
people didn't care. That's why we didn't do them. But see, with the highlights, I thought people didn't care. But so we will have a bingo card.
Yeah, we'll do it in February. We have a massive
Yeah.
group in February, so I think someone will get a bingo out of that many people. And if you guys want to come,
And it's just
with,
for fun.
yeah,
points, 'cause,
yeah.
like,
It's not for any actual prize.
Yeah,
it's just a
I
win
don't
for
know
yourself.
if y'all gonna be lying or not.
Yeah.
So
But if you guys do want to book with us, come as our group. We do a bunch of little fun things. We do a group dinner. We do a meet and greet that does some little icebreaker games. We give out some swag, some personalized little name necklaces, shirts,
Bingo
hat,
card.
random things like that. And if you guys want to book through us, come with a group. We also have like a Facebook group and stuff that we do before to help people get to know people. And so you can go to foreplay.com/cruise. It's number 4OURPLAY.com/cruise. And you can book your cruise through us. It does not cost you any extra, but it just helps us out. It helps helps us be able to continue to make content like this and being able to help people on the lifestyle journey. So yeah, if you guys want to come with our group, you can go to foreplay.com/cruise, book with us. We go on all the cruises and it's super fun time, but we will give out bingo cards. I think it's a really fun idea. And I'm glad we had this highlights podcast because I don't know if I would have thought of that. So great.
And so the next one, you should tell this one. There was a girly pop.
So there was a lot of people I was very into on this cruise, and there's this one girl, in specific for this story that I was just like so into her. Like
She was so
the
hot,
second,
like, so sexy.
the second that I like met her.
Oh no, because you met her before.
I met her by myself. I met 2 girls I was really into by myself. And then
You were with Jasper.
I was with Jasper and he like knew one of them somehow. I went over, started talking to them, and then one of them, actually no, both of them had seen our TikToks. So then I had an some sort of line. I don't remember what I said. And I sat and Jasper was talking to somebody and I was talking to these 2 girls for, I don't know, half an hour or something before I came back to talk to you. And I remember telling you, I was like, oh my God, I'm very into these women.
And so Jase was talking to them. I didn't even know who they were. He told me that he was like, I met these like really hot girls, but their husbands weren't even there, right? I
met
think
one husband. The other
you met
husband
one
was like
husband.
taking a nap.
Okay. So I didn't know who these couples were. And so later that day, I saw a really hot girl doing like really sexy dancing on the pool deck area. Like she was twerking. She was hot. And I was like, oh my God, look at her. And then Jase goes, that's her. That's one of the girls. So keep going.
This was like a couple nights later. I made out with both of these women this night. And spoiler alert, we fucked both these these couples as well, which will be in a podcast later. But
Spoiler alert.
but so anyway, the one of them, oh my gosh, she's so hot, and she was standing there and she was dancing, and I don't remember like what made me go over and do it.
Well, you were on a mission that night because you said, tonight I'm going to make out with both of them. That's what you said before.
Bingo.
This was like the superheroes night, wasn't it?
No, it was
we
the
were in
fetish
Dazzles.
night. There was a fetish night.
Oh. I don't know, but we were
I
in
don't remember.
the Dazzles nightclub
I went
place.
up to that we saw that was dancing up there. I don't remember like exactly like what I said, however, but like it worked because I went up and I started dancing with her. I started making out with her like very heavily. I was like touching her all over. It was just really sexy. And then she pulled me into like her and she whispered in my ear and she was like, it was something along the lines of, okay, if you had a soul left to suck out, I'd love to do it. And like, that's a Ginger joke, right? About gingers being soulless. And normally I'm like, Ginger joke. Oh my God, it's the first boner Ginger joke I've ever gotten.
That's a good one.
And I was like, oh my God, I'd love to see you try, or something like that. And then we made out more. And I was like, from that moment on, I was already really into this girl, but that part, I was just like, holy fuck. That is one of the best lines that anybody has ever said to me, ever. I will think about that line for the rest of my life, just because
I will think of that. That sounds like a
personalized Ginger joke about sucking a soul out if you had one left is so good. Yeah.
And both of those girls, because they were best friends, they were so good at flirting and banter and like giving shit, but like in a really hot, sexy way. They were amazing at that because we don't typically find women in the lifestyle who have that kind of banter, because you were really good at it. And then I knew Jase wanted to make out with both of these girls. He had already made out with the best friend, and then I knew this was going to happen, what he was just talking about with the soulless what are we gonna call her?
Call her soulless girl, and it's fine.
No.
I don't know what to call her.
Okay.
The hot twerking girl.
Hot twerking girl. Okay. So I knew he'd made out with one already because I made out with that other woman's husband at the same time. And so I was watching this whole thing happen. But before even that, I was talking to Carmen, and Carmen had invited us to an orgy with one couple we already knew, one couple that we were actually already interested in, and then another couple. And so Jase and I are, well, I guess we'll get more into this whenever we go into the actual story time, but typically we like to be the orgy orchestrators, because we, especially when it's like a more intimate like setting, as I'm saying, like 10 people is intimate, but that's a pretty big
I was into it.
I know. No. I'm just usually we'd like to know everybody there and know that we are personally interested in everybody there, so then there's not any awkwardness. So that's what we thought. At that point. Anyway, so she was like, hey, I know you guys don't really know these two couples, but like if you guys want to come, like, you guys are welcome to come to this orgy. And so then while you are working on this thing with the hot twerking girl, we're also getting invited to an orgy. And so she finished telling me, and I'm like, okay, let me talk to Jase about it. And I'm like, standing to the side watching you like flirt with her. I see you whispering to her, and this must be whenever she said the soulless thing to you, because your face kind of goes like this, like your eyes kind of open a little bit, and then you guys start making out a lot, and I was like, yes. But I didn't know the soulless part until you told me that after like that line. But just like, I think it's so funny that I was on the side waiting for my husband to continue to make a move with another woman to then wait to ask if he was interested in coming to an orgy. And that is what life is like as a swinger couple. You're just doing that for each other all the time.
Yeah. And so, it was a great night, and the orgy was great too.
And then that was the night after you did all of that, was whenever you went over to Airtight.
Yeah, it was a good night for me.
Yeah.
It was a good night for me, people.
And then spoiler alert, we went to that orgy, and that was a very fun, one of the hottest experiences we've had in lifestyle.
So yeah, it was it was just a really good night.
But I wonder, like, okay, so whenever we do tell that story, I feel like that's part of the lore. I guess you're just gonna have to hear it again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear that story time, it'll just be a refresher.
This is just a stupid one, but one of our friends dressed up as a hammerhead shark for Under the Sea, and we were trying to he was like, I need like a good pickup line for like being the hammerhead shark or something. He's like, you have one? And I was like, I didn't. So I was like, I'll pull something out of my ass. And I was like, you should just say like, hey, what about I get hammered and I give you head? And he was like, shit, I like that. And I don't know if he ever said it to anybody, but I hope he did.
You could have said it to me. It would have worked. I've already fucked him.
With the same couple, we also were having a couple drinks and we were talking about how we should buy, because this guy is the one that I played the most mini golf with and like the most games with. And we were talking about how much we loved mini golf. And he was like, we should like buy some land and we should make a mini golf course.
No, this was the wives' idea. Don't you go take that.
Okay, sorry.
I think you went to the bathroom. Maybe both of you guys went to the bathroom, but me and the other wife, we were talking about, because I was trying to get them to move to Texas. I tried to get everybody to move to Austin. But they were talking about like possibly moving to Texas or whatever. So we were just like talking shit and like, oh, I was like, oh well, if you guys come here, we can make this business, or I don't know who brought it up. Somebody brought it up and we're like, yeah, we could have like a mini golf business. So then you came over, and I think that's when mini golf husband came back, because he was getting a drink for his wife, and so then we pitched the idea. We elevator pitched the idea to the husband.
Yeah, we were on board. I said we should call it Swingers Golf.
What?
Or Swingers Putt-Putt.
That's the most horrible name.
Swingers? Because you swing a golf club.
No. Oh. No, but we said something else. It was like...
It wasn't
better,
as good
right?
as Swingers, no.
I thought we ended up thinking about it being something else.
No.
Trademark. Guys, Swingers Golf is for us only.
It's actually patented.
Yeah, it's patented already.
All right. There was a girl who had nails that were 4 pussy nails. Her 2... like pussy fingers?
Well, first, so my nails were, I used these like stickers that look like harnesses, like kink harnesses, and mine were, like the harness part is black, but then my nails were bluish, like nude and light bluish, and then this girl, we had almost the same exact nails, because hers had the kinky stuff too, like almost the same stickers, but hers were red. But then she showed me the other part of her nails.
Yeah, and her 2 like fingering fingers.
Yeah.
If you want to call them that, they said 4 pussy, like
and
one
they were
said
shorter.
4, one said pussy, and her nails were shorter, and I was like, oh.
And we're stealing that. So
If you see on Temptation Cruise, look at my nails because they're gonna say 4 pussy on them.
that's another little funny thing that we were doing at the house that I kind of forgot about, but we were all going around with all of our friends and figuring out which 2 fingers you use to either finger yourself or finger other people. And it was such a variety, because Jase and I, we both use our middle finger and our ring finger, and we're right-handed. So on our right hand, and then other people, it was like half and half ended up being, use their middle finger and their index finger. And so...
Fucking weirdos.
Just
kidding.
She had the same 4 pussy fingers as we did, the 2 middle ones. And so
a woman of class, I see.
So if you're listening to this, look at your hands and you tell us, what fingers do you use to finger pussies? Send us an email at, just kidding.
You say thumb and pinky?
Oh my God. No, there's 3. Oh wait, no, just kidding.
I fist. That's it.
Spoiler alert, that happened in one of our story times. Not to me, but that did happen. I saw that happen. That was crazy. All of his said poor pussy.
It was just tattooed on his hand.
It's tattooed on your tongue. Oh, it's tattooed on your dick.
That's pretty good.
We get temporary tattoos. Okay,
I get a permanent one. This one really isn't funny or anything, but it was more just impressive. So I was talking to this girl. Bella went to the restroom. I was holding Bella's drink, and it wasn't like there's no lids on the cups, right? And I was talking to one of the girls. I went to give her a hug or something, and her hand hit my hand, and the drink fell on the ground. And I picked the cup up, and literally, like, before I could even think, like, hey, I need to go get somebody, there was like, there was people mopping it up. I kid you not. It was at most 10 seconds from when that drink hit the ground until somebody was there cleaning it. And I still to this day, it must have just been an absolute fluke that someone walked by the exact, but I mean, it was incredible. All of us just kind of stopped. And we're like, how are they
Where'd
even
it go?
cleaning this? Like, it was crazy.
We met these two girls who were best friends, and they had pineapple heart friendship necklaces together, and that was like so cute. One said best and one said friends, and it was.
Like a pineapple.
We should get that.
We should.
We should get that.
We should.
put it. We should wear it as an anklet.
There was a guy who had a portable glory hole shirt, and that
That's
was
the
a highlight.
funniest shirt,
We
yeah.
always play a game, which you guys should do this too if you go on the cruises. We do a vanilla cruise, really, right at airport, and you find the funniest shirt, or you could be the stupidest shirt, whatever you wanted it to be. We did the funniest, our favorite shirt, and there was a guy, he had a shirt, it said portable glory hole. The shirt was like down to his thighs, and then in the center, there was a circle, and there was like a ring, and he had stuck his dick and his balls through the hole in the shirt, and the shirt said portable glory hole.
And the shirt was black.
Yeah, it was
Genius.
funny.
That's so funny.
It was funny.
Speaking of fun shirts, okay, so Jase thought of this, and I made it. I guess I was kind of testing it, I guess we could say. So Jase thought of a shirt that would be fun to wear for me to wear that said, "Your husband is my cardio." Fucking genius. That is so funny. And so I made a little red crop top that said, "Your husband is my cardio." And that was by far, I've worn a lot of, because one of my favorite things to do is wear shirts like that, like themed shirts. And it's a great conversation starter, and people will read it, and you can make a lot of connections that way. And I got a lot of laughs out of that one. Just like walking by and people, "Oh my God, I love your shirt." And so you can buy that at foreplay.com/shop. That's the number 4OURPLAY.com/shop. And that was another little highlight as well. This one is just a sentimental one, more to us, but we were able to experience it because of you guys, and because of you guys supporting our content, listening, and all of that. And so before we quit our jobs, it was always our goal to be our own boss. We've just always wanted to be able to travel whenever we wanted, and not work for, other people, and just be our own boss. And
This was before Foreplay.
Yeah,
we've
this is
we've
before.
had so many multiple businesses before Foreplay happened.
Yeah, and we still have like some of them, like some vanilla businesses too, but this was whenever we still had like 8 to 5 jobs. We were in the medical field, and we were working towards our dream, right? And so we are big about manifesting. We're pretty spiritual when it comes to that, but we would listen to the song "Come Alive" from The Greatest Showman. Jase would listen to it like every single day.
Driving home from work every single day, listening to that song for
And
like 2 or 3 years.
yeah, and so the lyrics of it is dreaming with your eyes wide open, and the idea of it is just your life is so good when you're just living your life that your life feels like a dream. So you're just basically living your dream, right? And we were watching the ice skating show on this cruise, and they started actually playing "This Is Me." I believe they were like ice skating to "This Is Me" or some other song from The Greatest Showman. And in my head, I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if they started ice skating to "Come Alive"? And I was just like saying it like, haha, like I didn't think they were going to use multiple songs from the same show, from the same album. And then they started dancing to "Come Alive," and just us, I'm like gonna cry. But just like us being there on the Bliss Cruise, and Bliss Cruise, like Oasis of the Seas, was the first lifestyle cruise that we've ever been on. And so it just felt like full circle, and just sitting there watching this, being on the cruise, like being able to do what we're doing, And hearing that song, we just started like crying, like hugging each other. And it was such an incredible moment. It was so special to us. And we can't thank you guys enough for supporting us and being there. And this is why we keep doing what we're doing, because we're able to help other people on their journey and let you guys know that it's okay. I'm going to start crying. It's okay to be yourselves, and it's okay to have a relationship on your terms. And even if society is going to talk shit about whatever it is, like, I know it's not easy to have this kind of relationship, to be in the lifestyle, but just know that there are people out there who care about you, and there's connections that you're going to make. And we love being able to give people let them feel that they can do that for their own relationship, and to see how special it can be, and it works out. And so yeah, thank you guys. But
normally I would say the same exact thing, but that was so well said that I don't have anything to add to it besides I just agree with you so wholeheartedly.
Okay, we're not going to be sappy anymore. Moving on to the next one.
Okay, so we have only 2 more highlights. This one, I technically was after we got off the cruise, but I was at the Miami airport. We were about to go to our gate or whatever. Bella was in the restroom, and this guy saw in my bag had an upside down pineapple or something on it, and he was like, "You guys come back from Hito?" And it was like very specific. I was like, "Oh no, we just came back from Bliss Cruise." And he was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "We've been to Hito a few times and we really love it." I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome, man." Talked to him for a second, and then he went to wherever he was going. And then there was a guy standing next to me. He goes, "Hey, we just got a Bliss Cruise too." And I hadn't met this guy, and then he actually gave me a slut card.
Oh yeah, because I was walking out right as you guys were finishing up talking.
Yeah, but it was just funny, like 3 people all at once, like in the same community, but like in a vanilla space. It was just funny.
And we were in the lounge right before that, and another person who was also on Bliss Cruise, we were talking to him a little bit there too. So we're everywhere, guys.
They're all around.
Yeah, swingers are everywhere.
The last highlight that just made me laugh. This happened in my head, and then I talked to Bella about it like later that night or the next morning or whatever it was. But like we were at dinner with this big group of friends, and I was sitting there, and like you're just having all these like nice conversations, and it's so much fun. And then I was sitting there thinking, I was like, it's super funny because like I've fucked everybody here. Well, I mean, I fucked all the women here, and it just made me laugh because you think about it, and it's like you just have all these wholesome moments, and you just enjoy people's company, just having these nice dinners and just talking about life or whatever it is, and you've literally just like fucked everybody there, and it's just so funny to me. And then we were talking too, and it was like this joke of how you always say like, oh, it's just like one big family, like everyone loves it, it's just one big family. And I was like, how funny is like it's one big fucking family, because like everyone just fucks each other, it's just a fucking family. And it just made me laugh.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking the exact same thing so the last night we had dinner. I think there was a group of 10 of us, and we decided all the girls were going to sit on one side and all the guys sat on the other side. And we've never done that before. Like, typically it's like boy, girl, and you're usually sitting next to your partner. So I don't think I've ever sat that far away from you at dinner ever. But we were like across kind of catty corner from each other, and it was a pretty big table because, well, it was a 10-person table. And so I'm probably around the same time you were thinking it. I was thinking the same thing, because I was sitting there and I was looking around, and I was like, I literally fucked everybody here. I was like, we have fucked everybody here. And we we were like, I think we've introduced other people and they fucked each other, but not everyone has fucked everyone except for us.
It also made me laugh.
We're so fucking slutty.
Because we're also like, you're sitting there, you're kind of diagonal from me, and then the couple that we had fucked the night before was behind us at a table. So I was like, it's like it extends beyond this table. Like I fucked everyone here plus the table next to us. Like we got a bonus table. Like I fucked everyone within my eyesight. It's like in Lion King. It's like as far as the light touches. As far as the dining room goes, I fucked.
Oh my god, you did not. That would be a little bit too much.
It was funny though.
That is so funny.
Okay, guys, that is our highlights from this. I had actually just such a tremendous time filming that and reliving all of those moments, because we always like relive the sexy moments when we tell them. We relive the ship when we tell it, but like lots of these things, I feel like,
Relive the ship?
yeah, relive like what it was like being on the ship when you do the reviews, right?
Oh, okay.
I definitely, I thought it and didn't say the rest of it. But then, yeah, you like, sometimes you forget about like the little things, and like the little things so much of the time are like some of the best memories. And so it was really fun. And I would tell you guys that a little fun thing you could do is like, if you have really funny things that happen or a highlight, write it down. Write it down, and maybe like 6 months later, look at some of the funny things, because you forget about all these like really funny little things that happen. I mean, I'm not writing paragraphs here, like I'll write just like 2 or 3 words that trigger the memory of what that is, and it's really enjoyable. And I had so much fun filming that.
And another hack is to share the note with your partner. So then what we did for this was we had a shared note. So as Jase was adding things, I was also adding things. And I would read what he wrote, and I was like, what is this part? And then he would tell me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that happened. Because so many things happen, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely recommend to do that.
Well, I hope you guys had as much fun listening to that as we had recording that, because I just had a blast. It was so much fun to relive all those moments. And so, you know what? We should start doing these again. As long as we have enough highlights to make a substantial good podcast, then we can record one.
Okay.
So should we go ahead, go into Bella and Jase's
Weekly Obsessions? You go first.
Okay, I have two. One is, so I've already talked about Dua Lipa's new album, Radical Optimism, as a weekly obsession, but she recently released a French version of These Walls with, I don't know what his name is. It's French guy. I'll have it in the show notes below. But it's like, the song is half in English and half in French, and I just really like it. I don't understand French, but I think French is really beautiful, and I think it's really beautiful when it's sung as well. And so I've been enjoying that. And then the other thing is also a song this week, and it's the song Push to Start by Tyla. I love Tyla. I think she's just so beautiful, and she's so sexy and talented and funny, and like I just really like Tyla. And Push to Start, I think, is my favorite Tyla song.
More Than Water?
I think Push to Start is my favorite Tyla song ever, and like the music video's like so fun, and I really love it. And so Push to Start is my other weekly obsession.
I don't even think you know this, but every time I think of Tyla, I actually think of you, not because you love her music, but because one time on Temptation Cruise, the water song started playing, and you were holding like your water bottle, and we were dancing on the dance floor, and you you turn it upside down and you start twerking whenever that song played. And I think
like,
about
oh my god, Tyla's on this cruise.
Yeah, I think about that often. My weekly obsessions are, first is, I have been on the hunt for a romance book that I actually enjoy, a 5-star romance book, because I love me a rom-com movie, okay? I love romance movies, love me a rom-com. I can watch them all the time, and it's probably one of my favorite genres. I love romantic comedies and just movies and stories about couples. I mean, that's what our life is. Our job is telling our stories about us as a couple, and so I love romance. And I have finally found a romance book that is a 5-star, and I'm obsessed with it. It's called Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I wouldn't change anything about it. It's actually part of a series, but there's 3 books in the series. It's called the Part of Your World series, but each book is with a different couple. But the people, you'll see couples from the first book kind of trickle into the third one in just little ways, and I think that's a really cool way to go about a series, rather than just say like, Twilight or something, where it's following the same couple over the span of 3 books. But anyways, it is such a special book. I think it's probably because I relate to mostly the female main character a lot, and that's probably why it's so like impactful for me. But just the romance in general, it feels realistic in the way that they talk about things, the way that they go about things, and it's not like a lot of other romances where there'll be most of the time it's like a miscommunication that was completely avoidable, and that is the climax of the breakup and all of that stuff that happens. And it's just I never one time rolled my eyes or scoffed at something that happened in this book, and it's incredible. Amazing tropes, amazing characters, and so highly recommend. I made Jase read it, and he's, I think, about halfway through.
I'm about halfway through, and I'm actually really enjoying it.
First time reading the genre, too.
Yeah, first time reading a romance book, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's very fun. I also like the characters, and I go back and forth. Like, I don't know if I like it quite as much as like my mystery books I've been reading, but if I don't like it as much, it's at least very close. And I'm enjoying it even more than I thought I would. And like, I didn't think I wouldn't enjoy it, but I find myself really enjoying it. And like, I've been listening to an audiobook, and like normally I'll listen to like when I go to the gym or when I'm running errands. But today I was actually listening back to our last podcast to make sure that I edited it and make sure that like everything sounded like good. And so I didn't listen to it. I was like, oh man, I miss listening to it.
I'm like waiting for him to finish so we can yap about it. But if you are going to read it, I am visioning Taylor Zahar. I think that's his name. He was the guy, the dark-haired guy in Red, White, and Royal Blue in that movie. And then I'm imagining him as Justin, and I imagine Haley Steinfeld as Emma. And I think that it's just perfect. Okay, my other... Well, I read on about that for a long time. Guys, also, I think I'm going to start making, like, more wholesome content, too, where I do, like, booktube content on YouTube and just, like, talk about books and, like, show my crocheting and all of those stuff that's more of my, you know, like, vanilla activities, but not put it on my Foreplay account. So follow me on Hey Bella Luna on my Instagram, and that's where I talk more about this kind of stuff. But I think that's why I keep yapping about it for so long, because I don't have, like, a place to talk about it. So... that will be my motivation to start my other channel. Okay, so my other one is a yarn winder. As I was just talking about crocheting, I just got a yarn winder, and it puts all of my yarn into a little cake, so it's easier for me to use the yarn. And actually just winding the yarn itself is now a hobby of mine too. It's just relaxing and fun, and it makes it, I like to organize them, and it makes it a perfect little cake, because having a skein of yarn and it getting floppy is my nemesis. So those are my obsessions, and we can link that
a floppy skein of yarn, to someone who doesn't know what that is, like me. Like, I can guess what it is, as I've seen things that look floppy that you've been holding, but that sounds like literally like a different language. A floppy skein of yarn sounds wild.
What does that look like to you?
It looks like a yarn ball or yarn, whatever it is, that's deflated.
A deflated, yeah, that's pretty much what it is, but it's long. That's why it's annoying, because it's not just
it looks like a
ball.
deflated football.
No, not the shape, but.
Yep. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we will hit you guys with the outro. Bye.
If you'd like to support the show, you can leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to our podcast. All our information will be listed in the show notes below and on our website, fourplay.com. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we make videos and vlogs about the swinging lifestyle. Head to foreplay.com/YouTube to watch and subscribe. We have the ultimate adult party game for the sexually inclined called Foreplay the Game, that's both digital and physical. It's perfect for breaking the ice and spicing up any party. You can find more information at foreplay.com/games. We also have the best swinger lifestyle, kinky, and adult humor clothing and accessories that you can find at foreplay.com/shop. If you're looking to plan a lifestyle destination, booking through our links at foreplay.com/travel really helps support the show and helps us be able to continue to create this type of content for you. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and more. You can find all our current social media accounts at foreplay.com/socials, and I have an OnlyFans, which you can find at onlyfans.com/BellaLunaVIP. We also have a Facebook group and Discord community and would love for you to join us. You can find the direct links in the show notes below. Lastly, we're on STC and Cassidy at Foreplay, and you can get a free full membership trial by using our link. You can email us at hello@foreplay.com with any questions or comments, or head to foreplay.com/ask. Again, all our information will be listed in the show notes below, and we thank you so much for listening to our podcast. See you in the next one. Bye!